Hi, in today's video I'm going to be talking about the importance of dopamine detox. I personally never did dopamine detoxing like in my life because in my life I was really never abusing dopamine. I was never watching porn and fapping 8 times a day. I was never playing video games for like 10 hours a day. And I also wasn't doom scrolling all day. But this weekend I did a dopamine detox for 4 days with my cousin and my brother, and it was amazing. And I'm making this video because these dopamine detoxes will not only help you in your mental health, but also in your physical health and working out. I'm going to explain that later. In your relationships with your brothers or with your friends. And if you are alone, connection with nature and the outside world. So how should your dopamine detox look like? So first, you will name a couple of things that you get most of your dopamine from. Let's say, for example, mine. I usually get most of my dopamine from my phone because as normal people, because I get dopamine from watching, let's say, YouTube sometimes and from listening music when I work out or when I don't work out. These are the most common things. And I also get dopamine from like checking the YouTube analytics and seeing that I got another subscriber or somebody liked my video or left a supportive comment. And for you, for example, it can be, let's say, watching porn, being on social media, being on Instagram, eating food, and these types of things. Now, when you listed out all of these different like bad habits, you are going to remove them for the duration of your dopamine detox, obviously. So at our cottage, we had a no phone policy, and having a no phone policy removes pretty much all of the dopamine. Then leftover sources of dopamine can be, let's say, junk food or let's say like energy drinks or sweet drinks. And also fapping. So if you have problems with these things, you can completely remove them, eat clean, and don't jack off. Then the third one. You don't need to do this, but it's absolutely worth it if you do this. And it is changing your environment. I changed my environment a lot because I went like 100 kilometers away from my village and I went to my cottage. And it's really deep in the forest, it's really lovely there. We have a sauna and a cold plunge and these types of things. But let's say you, for example, don't have a cottage. So you can maybe change your environment inside of your home. Maybe move your bed a little bit, but just change your environment in some way. If you can, go and sleep outside. I literally did this with my cousin at our cottage some time ago, that we literally slept outside for a couple of nights. We didn't sleep inside. So if you just, let's say, sleep outside, if you live in a village and you have a garden, like set up a tent or just do something like that and sleep there, it's going to change up the environment. Because it's really difficult to change yourself from this guy that is always on his phone to a new person that isn't on his phone all day and is finding different hobbies. Because if you want to do that change in the exact same environment, it's going to be way more difficult. So just changing around your room or going sleeping outside or just going to a completely different place is very, very worth it. Then number 4. This also isn't necessary, but also really, really helps you, is doing this dopamine detox with someone. I was doing it with my cousin and my brother. And it's absolutely fun if you do it with someone. Because let's say we are here in the cottage and we are literally like stranded there. We don't have any social media. We put our phones completely away. We have them on silent and they are completely turned off. So we need to find something else. And finding a hobby or just something to do without having someone to do it with, it's kind of difficult. Because if you have your best friends, your homies, your brothers, you can do pretty much anything and it's going to be fun. But if you try to do something really, really fun and you are only one person on that, it's pretty damn boring. So if you are doing this dopamine detox at home, find a friend to do this dopamine detox with, and you can do these different activities than being on your phone all day. Then the last part, number 5. I already touched on this, but replacing the habits that you get most of your dopamine from with different habits. But it's not like you are used to jacking off every single day, but now you just scroll on TikTok all day. It's not like changing these habits like this. It's like changing, you are on your phone to going outside and cycling. It's a change like this. So when you cut off most of your sources of dopamine, you are going to try to find these other sources that were still unknown to you, and you are still discovering them now. So it's really worth it to try this dopamine detox and find these other habits that are most of the time healthier, and maybe you are going to find some of them really, really, really interesting, and you are just going to add them into your daily or weekly schedule. And now you don't need to scroll on your phone. You can do the other activity that you discovered during this dopamine detox. I wanted to tell you my full story of this dopamine detox, but I will probably do that in another video because all of these things in one video, it would be pretty long and I want to keep this video short. So now I'm going to tell you some benefits that I experienced. So earlier in the video, I told you that it boosted my working out. And this is true. If you get a bit of a pause, or you don't need to stop working out for those 4 days or for those 2 days, you are just going to work out without music. It's going to be odd if you listen to music whilst working out, because most people do. I do too, because it helps me get into the mood of working out. But when you don't have this music to get into your mood of working out, it's going to be difficult to get yourself to doing the workout. So we are going to also train discipline whilst doing that. And then when you stop this dopamine detox and you start listening to music again, it's going to be way more fun. If you're wondering how this dopamine detox actually helps you in your relationships, because if you are with the people and you are not on your phones all the time, you create this bigger connection. When you are just you and your two closest brothers together for 4 days without any phones, there are a lot of times that you laugh. There are times when you create the new insider jokes. There is a place to create a ton of stories. There is a place for growth. You can both grow. If you hit a workout without both of you having headphones on, it's way better. Even if it's quiet in there and you're like, oh, screaming, pushing the last reps, it makes you closer. So yeah, this also explains why I didn't upload any videos for like, what was it, 5 or 6 days. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, you can like, and if you are new to this channel, you can subscribe. By the way, if you want the full story of me at the cottage doing crazy stuff, make sure to comment underneath this video something like, you should definitely record that or just something. Okay, bye.